Hey guys, Chef Shwasty here. You may kind of recognize the name from a few of the different neighbor things, or maybe you're a fan of the cooking, or maybe a prank that went awry. Anyway, I'm here right now to talk about what happened after the whole neighbor incident, and let's go ahead and do like a brief recap. So, in the beginning, I moved in here. I am a drummer. Not professionally or anything like that. I just use it to relieve stress and anxiety. But in an apartment, you cannot have an acoustic drum kit, and that makes all the sense in the world. I think anyone who has an acoustic kit in an apartment should be evicted. That's asinine. That's stupid. I went without drumming for probably about a year. After a tax return and after having managed my money quite well, I decided that I was going to go out and try and buy an electronic drum kit, and I tested a few of them out. I went to Guitar Center, once again, thank you guys. Tried out a few kits to see which one was going to be the quietest. So I found, and also one that was going to benefit me the most, obviously. I found one that was like rubber and silicone. I insulated the bottoms of it. At this point in time, it's important to note that when I bought these, we had previous tenants below us, so it wasn't the ones that everyone knew. Got my drums, set them up, for months, no complaint, no nothing. I think we had kind of a mutual understanding with one another. I would be able to drum for half an hour every fourth day, and they would be able to have their coke-fueled parties from 7 p.m. until 10 a.m., and, no one would call the cops on each other. So it was a mutually beneficial arrangement that we had going. And then they moved out. And when they moved out, I am under the impression that they took a whole lot of stuff with them, i.e. wiring in the walls, maybe copper piping. I have no idea, but I do know that the renovations that took place downstairs lasted quite a long time. They renovated the downstairs apartment, all was well, new people moved in. So immediately after they had moved in, I came back here into Shwasty Studios, and I decided to do a little bit of drum practice to myself. Mind you, the flip pedals and everything were still insulated. Everything was still good. And I did a little drum practice. Mind you, this is after hours and hours of, moving in noises, couches slamming against walls, hammers, nailing things. It was, it was loud, but I live in an apartment. I'm okay and accepting of that. 5 minutes into it, I felt and heard someone pound the ceiling, and that kind of started this entire saga that spurred this entire thing to be known. My reaction, my idiot reaction is, oh, I'm going to go downstairs and introduce myself. At the time, it worked out. I introduced myself to the mater of the household, not to mater, but, the mother of the household. I gave them my phone number. I said if they ever needed anything, or if I was being too loud or anything, all they needed to do was text or call. Went through that. Didn't think anything of it. About a week later, I decided to sit behind my kid again for the first time. You know the story, just constant, incessant nagging. Then there was the whole confrontation. There was the managers that got involved. There were managers that got fired. There was an intervention, then those managers got fired. And then the last word on that was eviction. I wish them the best. I hope that whatever their future endeavors hold, that they find the utmost of happiness, and I really hope that the kids can find happiness as well. So a part of this whole shindig was, after the fact, living up to some promises that I made. I made a lot of different promises, and I've delivered on quite a few of them. I did record a drum solo. It wasn't that good. Like I've told you guys, I'm not a good drummer. I drunkenly read Jabberwocky.
My son, the teeth by the closet cat, we the judge of burn, shun the fruity Sparta snatch. He took his purple sword and had a long time bangs.
Which, by the way, I memorized in 7th grade, or 8th grade, or something like that, but either way. We also got together and did a drunk reading of some of the juiciest parts of 50 Shades of Grey for whatever reason.
I have a small present for you here, Christian Whispers. Holy crap.
You guys asked for it, so we did it. And we also took thousands and thousands of dollars of donations from you guys to the Humane Society.
Thank you, Chef, and the amateur community!
Which, if you haven't seen, all these videos are down in the description down there. There's also a few other things that I'd like to do. A few other promises I'd like to deliver on. I still have to drunkenly narrate Morgan Freeman's speech in Shawshank Redemption. I'm supposed to have a drum-off with Imgur user Spooky Bees. We are supposed to do a Twitch stream of 7 Days to Die on Xbox One. The reason why we haven't done that one yet is because it's almost impossible to find anyone who plays that game on the Xbox One. So if you want in on that, go ahead and hit me up on my Snapchat, Twitter, email, whatever. Last but not least, I would really like to throw at least a little tiny get-together for the people in the Port Jurian Facebook group. They're an awesome bunch of people who seem to have a lot of fun together, and I'd like to host and maybe exchange some drinks, some stories, and some food and recipes, and just all around have a great time. So these are things that I would like to deliver on in the future. So now we fast forward a little bit. As with standard rotating of tenants, there's a certain amount of things that have to be done. You have to paint, you have to do the inspection, you have to do a whole bunch of cleaning, blah, 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 whatever. There's a whole different host of things that need to happen in between tenants moving in. Previously, we've outlasted a few different tenants. The ones before Psychos took the longest in between because they had to do renovations in the apartment. There had been months of gaps in between tenants. So when the Psychos moved out, and within 2 weeks I saw a moving van, it was quite surprising, especially since the managers of the apartment complex and the parent company had made it known that they are fans. So, hey guys, that being said, there were new tenants moving in downstairs. I was terrified. I'm gonna be honest with you, because there's a lot of times that I've gotten hate mail, I've got a few death threats, I've also got a lot of loving letters of encouragement, I've gotten packages of oh my god, we got poutine one time from Canada. Look at this! This is Canada right here. Oh, yeah, fork.
Get the out of here.
And ketchup chips. I love ketchup chips.
Come on, you grab one, you grab one. We'll go at the same time. 1, 2, 3. I don't know what I expected.
I'm a fan.
It'll taste like ketchup. And not like the bad way either. It's like a sweet
I'm okay
ketchup.
with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I like this?
Lots of positive things, but as with anyone, the negative things stick out in your mind, you know? I kept thinking, what if I am wrong? And I put myself in those shoes. I kind of tried to emulate what it would be like. I got nothing. I couldn't understand the level of aggressiveness that they had came at me with. I still, after thinking about it and thinking about all the people who said, you're wrong, you're stupid, you're an idiot, I'm going to find you and kill you, blah, 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 that kind of thing. I couldn't understand what warranted the level of anger that they were propagating against and why they would seek eviction for me. All of this fear went into watching these new people move in. And I didn't know what to do. Do I go down and introduce myself? That didn't play out well in the past. Do I just kind of play it safe? Do I bring them flowers? I don't know what to do. No matter your intention, sometimes you're going to be a little bit shied away from doing nice things, or even anything, really. So, I left my drumming alone. I maintained my usual level of silence, just merely out of fear. And it was not their fault. It wasn't the manager's fault. It wasn't anybody's fault. It was just something that had gotten programmed into my head, that with every move you make and every breath you take, you're bothering somebody. It was a weird concept that had been introduced into my reality, that no matter what you do, you are being annoying. But you get over it. You just have to kind of, pull yourself up and move on, and you can't think like that, because the moment you start disparaging yourself into believing that your entire existence is just a plague upon the universe, that spurs on some pretty dark thoughts. But we're beyond that, and damn it, I was gonna drop. I sat behind the kit. I felt a little rusty, but that's, neither here nor there. I started plopping around a little bit. I still had all the padding down. Everything was down. Memory foam under every leg, and then like 3 layers of memory foam under the bass pedal. I double cupped my headphones, so I was getting into it. And then I felt it. I heard it. I heard wham, 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 right on their ceiling / my floor, and immediately I went white with panic. Like every fear that I had was assured in a moment. It was this entire feeling of, oh god, I have misled so many people. I am in the wrong. I stopped and I sat there for a second and I waited and I didn't hear anything. I also kind of realized that you can't let a bad experience ruin who you are. So, I put on my big boy shoes, I walked down, and I knocked on the door. I was going to extend my hand and shake the hand of whoever resided within there, explain myself, give them my number and everything, but nobody opened the door. I knocked again, a little bit louder. These apartments kind of have really good sound muting, ironically. So I was just wondering if they didn't hear me. Obviously, they were moving in, so maybe they were throwing a bunch of sofas around and stuff, That kind of thing. I ran upstairs. I could tell that they were home. Maybe they didn't want to talk to me. Maybe they had lived in a place like this before, and they were like, oh my god, I don't want to talk to anybody who's already residing in these apartments. They have to be, nutcases or whatever. Either way, I ran back up here, upstairs to my apartment. I grabbed a pen, grabbed a pad. I don't remember exactly what I wrote, but I wrote such alongs of, hey, my name is Chef. I'm your upstairs neighbor. Welcome to the apartment complex. It's really good to have you here. Here's my phone number if I'm ever being too loud or if you need anything. P.S. I'm a drummer. I own an electric kit. If you ever need me to stop or if it interferes with you in your daily life, please let me know and I will work around you. I had gotten a lot of flack and a lot of people had said right from the get-go that this was a terrible maneuver. I stand by it. I don't think it was a terrible maneuver. I think introducing yourself in a neighborly fashion is the way to go, and I still have to believe that at least some form of nicety will prevail in the end. So I scribbled out my note in my terrible, terrible handwriting. I ran back downstairs, and one more time I decided to knock on the door. Normal volume, I didn't do it extra loud. Right when I was putting the note in such a way that they'd have to see it just in case it got lost somewhere, the door opened, and a woman stood right there in front of me, and I started talking. I said, "Hi, my name is Joe. I'm your upstairs neighbor. I'm sorry." And she looked at me kind of funny. Then her kids, or what I assume are her kids, walked around the corner. Younger. She looked to the kids, and the kids looked at me, so I just kept talking, as I am one to do. I explained myself, I gave them my name, everything, and the younger of the two kids looked up at their mom and started signing. And then the dad walks around the corner. And I'm thinking, okay, that was the guy. They all start signing to each other. The white panic from my face went into an even whiter confusion. I talked with them for a while and explained what was going on. I asked them if they could hear me at all. Obviously, no. I asked the kids. The younger of the two, having been more vocal, as I was quickly learning, said that they liked it. I realize this all sounds extraordinarily far-fetched. I wouldn't be believing this if I were you either. That all of this cosmically weird karma that came back, I don't know how better to explain this. I don't know how to make this sound non-fictitious. I have neighbors who are deaf, who have two kids, who have admittedly enjoyed listening to drumming and occasional bass. In fact, there have been a couple times in which I have taken my headphones out of my amp and just played guitar or bass, and I've spoken with them the next day, and they're like, hey, that was cool. In the end, I went from neighbors who were overbearingly psychotic and so protective of their silence that they went out of their way to try and get me evicted, to a couple who is hearing impaired, and their kids who groove to the music. I have no idea how to explain this. I don't know. I'm not a religious person, but maybe there was a divine intervention. I have no idea. I'm still not a noisy person, and having talked with the kids, they still can't really hear me. It's not like waking them up, even though I don't do it that often, nor that late at night. But they are the nicest people I have met in my entire life. They are kind, they are courteous. I've got nothing left for you as far as psychotic neighbors go. All I have now are wonderful neighbors. So, that's the end of the story. I want to thank you guys for sticking around with me through this entire thing, because I know it could not have been easy. I have made several of the perceived wrong decisions. I have not stuck up for myself the way that I probably should have at several points in time. It all worked out. I want to thank everyone who stuck by me. I want to thank all of the positive Snapchats, Twitter followers who have enjoyed interchanging jokes with me, the people who subscribe and watch my YouTube videos, which I'm going to try and get better at doing. Everyone who's been a part of this from beginning to end. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching, and have yourself a great day or great evening, and have a better tomorrow. Thank you.